Oh, you walking around YoungLa, you know, the brand that's for young people, because young people, they don't care. They do things to animals. They do things to girls. Bravo, YoungLa. Coach Greg, and in today's video, it's time to expose YoungLa. YoungLa continues to cover up the gross and disgusting behaviors of their athletes. Had a woman, she's famous, 450,000 followers, and she experienced SA. I'm not going to be using the words. I don't want to get this video demonetized, as we need more people to see what's going on. And YoungLa, they simply cover it up. They don't deal with their athletes. We've heard of the guy who did the animal ab on that cat for a couple months. Sure, you're not with us, only to then rehire him. And so all YoungLa seems to care about is making money. They don't care about their athletes. They don't care what people do, so long as they're bringing in sales. She contacted me to try and make a video, as after repeated contacts with YoungLa, they did absolutely nothing. I'm going to show you what she told me. I'm going to explain to you exactly what's going on with evidence in order for you to understand that YoungLa, they need to do better. This needs to stop now. I'm going to read some of the chat. I don't want to go too long before showing you the video that she created. She first created in Spanish, of which, even for myself, difficult to understand Spanish at that level.
Aquí tú hablas español.
And so she re-recorded the video in English with the sole purpose of having you understand exactly what's going on. There's a now former YoungLa athlete that pretended to mask with her pictures repeatedly to sell YoungLa merch. He recorded this video, doesn't care, using her photos, and trust me, it's going to get worse. YoungLa approved this. Imagine approving this. Imagine if somebody contacted me, as I am the owner of Harder Than Last Time, and they said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this famous, popular female, and I'm going to pretend to do this and make jokes at her, make fun of her, continue to use her image in order to sell your clothes, in order to sell your testosterone. What do you think that I would do? If any of you thinks that I would approve that, I would like you to click unfollow and get out of my face right now.
And I was not the only one. There's more people. There's a girl that even filed a criminal report here in Mexico because he did the same to her. She has over 1 million followers. And she worked for YoungLa.
This isn't a separated incident. This has happened multiple times. Happened the same thing to another girl, over 1 million followers, of which she put in a criminal complaint. This is not only immoral, it's also breaking the law, but YoungLa, oh, we can't do anything about it. Yeah, you can. You can tell your athlete, you're gone, you're done. We do not approve of this. If you post that video, we're going to press charges. That's what you can do, but you did not. She's trying to have more people understand this because in Mexico, well, they don't really care all that much. They don't have as much power or influence as people in North America, for example, the United States. And so hopefully, I'm not the only one that makes this video.
Who's Alexis Vidales? He basically makes red pill gym rat content, making fun of other women, calling them whores, and harassing people online. That's his entire platform.
The man in question that we're referring to that's done this to multiple women, not just herself, another one with even over 1 million followers, he goes by the name of Alexis Vidales. And he makes videos, makes fun of people, whatever. He sells clothing for YoungLa.
This is a YoungLa athlete that pretended to masturbate with my pictures so he could promote the brand.
So I'm not sure if we're going to be showing this joke. Obviously, she doesn't want to be used in this fashion. And so, hey, he's doing his little thing, turned to the camera and pretending that he's trying to self-pleasure while watching her pictures, videos, and so on. But trust me, it gets worse. And so she sends the clip of what he's doing to YoungLa. They watch the clip and say, you know, I'm sorry that it bothers you, but like, there's nothing we can do about it. That's the response. Sorry, not sorry. Not, oh my goodness, I can't believe one of our athletes did that. This is certainly not okay. We are going to speak with them immediately and have them remove the content, and they will no longer be with us. But yet, they did not. And so if they can do this to famous females, imagine what they could do to you. And so if you're thinking, oh, this isn't a big deal, imagine that this is your sister, your mother, your girlfriend, your wife, and how would you react? How would you feel about it? Oh, it's just funny. Hey, we're not talking about Larry Wheels. Some people actually don't enjoy watching their girls, their wives being used in this fashion. I screen recorded YoungLa hiding my comment. Downloaded everything, so yeah, I'll show it. And so talk about trying to cover it up. Do you think that they know that they did something wrong? Because if they didn't, if they weren't aware of this, why would they have deleted the comment? Would they not have seen the comment and thought, hey, let's message her directly? I hope this reaches more Americans. They got away for years because people are scared to say anything. Does that not trigger you? People are scared to say anything. People are sponsored by YoungLa. They don't want to speak out. They're thinking, well, if I say something, maybe they'll hurt my contract. And so the reality of the world is people care more about themselves, obviously, than anyone else. Some people, many people, are going to virtue signal and say, no, if that happened to my friend, I would speak out. If it was in my company, I would go to bat for her. I would make a video. How many of you have seen a video on this? A single one. How many sponsored athletes from YoungLa do you think that there are? But yet they say nothing. And why? Why do you think? People care about themselves. They're trying to get by. They're trying to make a living. And they'll say, hey, it's nobody's business. It's not my business. I'm going to stay out of it. Hey, I'm making it my business, and I'm going to get right into the trenches. And Latinos, his followers, are saying it's not a big deal. LMAO, crazy. Now, I did some research studying, trying to understand why people, they don't really care when things are happening in other countries in comparison to their own countries, or when it's happening to someone else and not one of their friends. People are much less empathetic. Let me show you a video that I stumbled upon. This guy, I really like his videos. He explains things exceedingly well and try to help you to understand why many people don't care about others.
There could be an empathy mapping failure as well. A lot of men default to imagining themselves as the accused rather than the victim. Their first instinct is, what if someone falsely accused me?
And so some of you are thinking this isn't a big deal, while others are thinking, are you kidding me? There's no way there's a person out there that doesn't believe that this is horrendous. But yet there's a simple explanation. And so his fans, it isn't all that bad. But we see the explanation, and so now you know why. I think the fact that he did the same thing years ago to another girl, it's sickening. It's not as if he's a young man thinking, hey, I'm going to be edgy, cutting edge. I'm going to be a comedian. And he does it once, gets the backlash, is told, hey, bro, you can't do this. If he had have learned his lesson the first time and had moved on, taken the video on and apologized and said, I did a bad thing, I think most people could forgive him. But no, he doubles down. My friend with over 1 million followers working for the brand got harassed because her ex leaked an intimate video. All bets are off when people break up. Some people will do horrific things. Now, I most certainly wouldn't do this, but there are people out there that are going to stop at nothing in order to get their revenge. Imagine if it happened to you. Put yourself in their shoes. And if it doesn't work for you, imagine it's your sister, your mom. And so she writes, it's a cultural thing. People are used to animal abuse and harassment. What can you do? Well, you can do this. You can make videos, you can speak about it, you can call people out. Not all countries think the same way. Different countries think it's acceptable to behave this way, others do not. We've seen other countries forcing women to wear, is it a hijab? I believe it was Hussein's sister, and I was saying, what is it on your head that you're wearing? The helmet, I said. Everyone laughed. They said, hey, Greg means no disrespect. He literally doesn't know the name of this, and he's thinking what words in my vocabulary represent wearing like a hat. It's, I believe, a hijab. Perhaps I've learned. I have very poor memory skills, and so hopefully I got this right. And so depending on your country, perhaps you're forced to wear something. Perhaps you're a female forced to cover your face. Perhaps they don't allow you to work. They have different rules. And perhaps in those countries, they think it's perfectly okay. But when we see it, we're thinking, well, what's wrong with you? You're behind the times. You need to learn and have some respect amongst the different genders. What I don't get is how did the cat thing went away? Yeah, the cat thing, it came back. It wasn't the very next day, but 3 months later, they rehire this athlete. And so what does that tell you? It tells you that all YoungLA cared about was the optics. So many people made videos about this. Myself, John Bravo, Lee Priest, others. And so they had no choice. They're thinking, oh my goodness, what can we do? And so, hey, we've gotten rid of Daddy Oli. And then later on, several months later, because, you know, stories are only as viral until the next story comes along. Once people started to simmer, oh, let's bring Daddy Oli back. Why? Because he brings a bunch of sales. And so that proves to you exactly what YoungLA represents. They represent making money at all costs. We don't care. So long as not too many people make videos about it, so long as there's not many people complaining, we're going to let it slide. And so if myself and let's say 100 other YouTubers make a video about this, YoungLA won't tolerate it. They won't be able to. Their business will lose so much money. People stop buying their clothing and they'll say, well, we have no choice. We have to stand against men who are doing SA to other women. Do you understand what I'm saying? But if I and others say nothing, if we do nothing and we stay silent, no changes will be made.
This is a YoungLA athlete that pretended to masturbate with my pictures so he could promote the brand.
That is her name on Instagram. And so imagine this is your girlfriend, your daughter, your sister, your mom, whoever you need to imagine, because I want you to experience a visceral response. I don't want you to sit here intellectually and think, you know, it's probably not all right. You know, it's just a joke. It's funny. It is not. For many men, they probably can't envision this because how often do women do this to men? How often does it happen? I've never had it happen. I can't remember any time when somebody has done this to me. And so very hard for me to understand. But I can imagine if it's my sister or my mom or my girlfriend or anybody that you know. And so does anyone think that this is appropriate? That this is just a funny joke that we should just laugh it off? Marurista. That guy has also harassed me and made videos referencing crimes against me without my consent. And I had already reported him. I even messaged him and he told me the same thing, that it's part of his humor. This happened to their own athlete, and when she denounced, YoungLA did nothing. Unfortunately, there's lines. And if you cross the line and you make a mistake or whatever, and you continue to do that, well, people are going to complain. And when it's breaking a law, it's breaking a law. You can't just continue to do it. And you can't hide behind the fact that, well, it's a joke, it's my humor. That doesn't cut it. At least not in North America.
This started months ago, and I wasn't aware because he never tagged me. But he would mock my weight.
Cuello con tierra y resistencia a la insulina. Cherry frate.
He kind of likes to make drama videos. Of course, I like to make drama videos, but he does go a little bit too far. I'm not sure if it's a little bit too far, a lot too far. Hey, you can draw the line where you want. But he started going after Cherry Protein by making fun of her. Okay, calling her fat, joking around. You can see he's clearly mocking her. And so his response when she didn't like this, it stated, I don't understand why they're getting angry, haha. It's just a simple video. Is he somehow delusional? Is he a narcissist? Does he not understand that other people have emotions? When you call somebody out, you have to expect there's a certain uncomfortability. They're not going to like it, but you have to expect this. Now, is it illegal? Is it inappropriate? Well, it's certainly not breaking the law yet.
So I took a break for my own mental health. And in these 2 weeks that I was away from social media, he was using viral clips that I've had where he was like proposing to me.
He then went from making fun of her weight and so on, to then making videos proposing to her, knowing that she's actually engaged. She has a husband, but yet he's ignoring her and using her again for his own amusement. I think if he was to just joke and say, I'm in love with cherry protein, I don't think that people would have minded. I think that's probably better than directly making fun of her weight when she's not promoting anything. She's not saying I'm healthy at any size. She's not saying I'm the epitome of fitness. He's not trying to teach anyone a lesson. He's just trying to deliberately make fun of her for no reason. But when you start to touch yourself to self-pleasure, if you will, I think that's going across the line.
He started asking people where I was from.
¿Quién sabe dónde vive Cherry Protein?
I got dogs in his comments. They said where my gym is, where I live.
And so we see how it all went down for Scotty Fitness. And so how many people think it's okay to dox someone? And so another thing that he decided to do.
This is putting my life at risk. Then the infamous master videos with my pictures started. In all those things that I told you, he was wearing YoungLa merch, by the way. He will tag the brand. He will share his discount code.
And so promoting YoungLa, using her to sell more of these YoungLa t-shirts, of which I don't understand why you're all buying this stuff. And for this man to make fun of her for being obese when he's clearly obese himself. I mean, how does that make sense? I mean, I don't understand this guy's reasoning. And so what is wrong with all of you? Why are you giving him a platform? Over 500,000 followers, so they'll have 500,000 morons who actually think this is funny.
So YoungLa knew about this. Then he started saying that we slept together.
Se está quedando dormir en mi casa.
Dormir en mi casa, sleeping in my house, suggesting that they are involved in an intimate relationship, which is lying. Now, when I make videos, I don't lie. There's a difference between reporting the news and inventing, fabricating, and lying about the news. Why is he lying? After doxing her, after making fun of her, after pretending to be in love and asking her to be engaged, and pretending that they're now...
Also encourage his audience to go spam the fuck me.
Que en todos los videos de Cherry Protein ponen.
Do I ever ask or entice my audience to go and write this girl, go and write her, and proceed to make fun of her? Sometimes people will go and say horrible things, of which I do not condone, I don't encourage. In fact, I discourage these things. But he's literally saying, in all of her vids, say the Dali's girlfriend. She's engaged. Do you really think that her future husband wants to see a bunch of morons going to her page? Clearly, probably the age of 14, because if you're literally listening to this and doing what he's asking of you, I most certainly hope that you're just a little kid.
It got worse. He made AI content saying that he was proposing to me and I said yes. What he did was doxing creation with AI.
Is this even legal? I've already seen videos of me making out with Mr. Mike and bullshit videos, people creating AI, and I'm thinking, when does it end? Like, at what point are people going to understand that this is not okay? This is not cool. You're inventing imagery of which people don't know anymore how to distinguish between real and fake. And so if you're fabricating a video, person doing something with somebody else that clearly didn't happen, how is that legal? There needs to be put laws in place that people cannot use your image and change what you're saying in order to sell things, to put you down, that these people need to go to jail.
Bullying, sexual harassment. He broke the law in my country.
What is the Olympia law about? It is a set of legislation reforms that recognize digital violence as a type of crime and punishes with fines or prison sentences anyone who violates the privacy of individuals through digital means, cyber violence. It's literally a law that you cannot do this in Mexico. And yet he still thinks, but it's humor. You know, it's different because it's humor.
He uploaded an apology video saying that he won't be pressing charges against me and that...
He sacado de contexto una parte. No fue la intención mía.
I am not going to take legal action against her. You know, I am not going to be the one that complains to the police. I've decided that I forgive her for all of this. How would you feel about that? For him to make a sarcastic, bullshit, pretend fake-ass apology and put all of the blame on her.
Otra cosa muy importante que aclarar sobre las fotos con ella que simula una boda. Yo no las hice.
All those photos of me kissing her at the wedding, you know, all of that stuff from AI, I didn't make that. And so imagine him playing the victim card. This is the kind of man, and I say that lightly, that we're dealing with. I would never do something like that to a woman knowing that I come from one. That My first love was my mother. Those values weren't instilled in me as a child. Every single horrendous criminal, horrible, the most despicable person you can think in the world came from a mother. And so by saying I wouldn't do that, I have a mom, it means nothing.
So I decided to send an email to YoungLA. I made it very formal. I said, you know what? Your athlete is sexually harassing me. He's using my image in a non-consensual way to promote your brand.
And so she sends everything to YoungLA with timelines, videos, explanation, all of it, thinking, well, now they'll listen to me. They can't help but listen to me. Now I have all the proof. I'm bringing the receipts.
And they ignore me. I'm trying to stay composed, but it was not good for my mental health. Days passed and I decided to message them on Instagram.
This is a formal notice that your athlete at Evil Dallas is using SH content featuring me to promote your brand. This includes videos simulating explicit acts with my image and AI-generated fakes. I have sent a full complaint to your leadership email, and my email is this: you have been formally notified again. Notice, again. I'll make this public if there's no action being taken. Once evidence video is here, she links it. Your continued association with this athlete is an endorsement of this behavior. I do not consent to use of my image in this manner. Seeing as I'm making this video right now, what do you think YoungLA did? Do you think they got back to her and said, we're going to remove this athlete? We're going to take matters into our own hands? Of course not.
I just wanted my image to be respected. I just wanted answers.
So it says she even messaged the co-owner of the brand. She's like, well, maybe this guy just doesn't see how problematic this is. I'll message the I'm doing everything. I'm trying to resolve this in private. Remember, she's not one for drama. Man, if it was Coach Greg, I would have making videos on it in 5 minutes. But for her, I want to keep this private. I don't want to make a big deal of this, but you know, it is SA, it is breaking the law. And so let's see if we can come to a resolution in private. But since she could not, after trying everything, she reached out to Coach Greg.
But I guess because I'm in Mexico, they just don't give a fuck. To be fair, they have very questionable athletes in America too, but whatever.
And so she says, you know, it's not like it's just in Mexico. Like, I'm not just trying to say it's only Mexican YoungLA sponsored athletes that have problems. They have questionable athletes, to say the least, in the United States and North America. And you all know I've made countless videos on this. Young teenagers promoting performance-enhancing drugs. Athletes clearly on steroids. Doing this and even promoting it to young athletes, including teenagers. YoungLA doesn't give a kirk. They don't care. We're YoungLA. We're making hundreds of millions of dollars. What are you? You don't make money like us. We're YoungLA. We dress sharp in our YoungLA clothes. Are they really looking all that cool right now? Are you proud of wearing YoungLA? Oh, you walking around YoungLA, you know, the brand that's for young people, because young people, they don't care. They do things to animals. They do things to girls. Bravo! YoungLA.
I decided to comment on their post saying like, hello, I would like an answer as to why your athlete is doing this, you know. I'm gonna leave the comment here. They hid my comment.
And so they hide her comments, they ignore her. They're thinking, if we just ignore this girl, she'll go away. What is she? She's only got 450,000 followers on Instagram from Mexico. She speaks Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. Then the Mexican community, they stick up for their athletes. They won't care. That young man, he's their hero. And what is she?
So my followers went to comment to the post asking, can you reply to her? Not even a day passed. They replied to me, and this is what they said.
Finally, they wrote her a response. Let's see what it was.
They claim that they have no control over what their athletes post or do. A friend of mine reached out. The same person harassed her.
And so her friend, 1.3 million followers, had contacted and reported the exact same thing. She confronted him about him simulated acts, you know what I'm saying, with her name, and this was his response. Actually, I don't care what his response is. His response is, I don't care, it's comedy, it's funny, I'm gonna keep doing it, okay? Bye. That sums what it's about.
And you know what they did?
Kirk! work?
Nothing. She trusted them, and they decided to protect the perpetrator.
And so she trusted him and they protected the perpetrator. A video was leaked of a young LA athlete brutally and then something-ing a cat. They initially suspended him, but rehired him after the drama died down. His fans justified this, saying, "It's just a mistake." I refer to the original video of the psychologist explaining why and or how some people can think that this is not a big deal, that they don't have or elicit the same visceral response. I know it's hard for many of us to believe or to understand that people could just simply think it's not a big deal, but at least I gave you some context to understand the mentality of some people. Not saying that it's right, clearly it's wrong, but at least the more you know.
What can you expect from a brand that has an athlete that abuses animals? And funny enough, they're actually friends.
And so these two guys, Dalioli and this Vi guy, they're friends. I mean, does that surprise you? Does it shock you? What I'm surprised at is I did not know that in Mexico that these types of things, they're not seen as quite a big deal. That in those countries, it's, perhaps it's not awesome, but they don't see it as horrendous as we do here in Canada as well as the United States.
What I want is simple. I want YoungLa to stop hiding, ignoring it, to think that we're all gonna forget, because I won't. I'll keep talking about it.
What can you do to help this lady? You can continue to talk about it. You can message YoungLa. You can post comments on their thread. You can make videos about it. You can post what she's saying. You can spread awareness. And so we need to come together and try to help people to do what is right. If we say nothing, do nothing, this will continue on. And trust me, her English is stupendous. In comparison, if I had to speak Spanish with her, she's at least twice as good at English as I am at Spanish. And so thank you for making this video, for reaching out to me. Was happy to help. Ending it here. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost your algorithm. Please like the video if you liked it. Don't forget to watch one of those two bloops. And until next time, I am out.